On one hand, we have 1 million U.S. citizens required to register for a sexual offense, and on the other, we have 25% of all immigration visas in the United States being issued to spouses of American citizens. Those huge numbers can overlap, and today we have a story for you about one international couple adversely impacted by sexual offense laws. In 2006, the U.S. enacted the Adam Walsh Act, which effectively prohibits a person with a past sexual offense from sponsoring a family member in obtaining an immigration visa. With so many green cards being issued each year to spouses, we can easily see how the authors of this legislation could find statistical reasons to be wary of failed marriages and divorce. But there are also many examples of successful marriages. Here's one. In 2018, James was convicted for a sexual offense and incarcerated. His wife of 3 years, Jill, is an Australian citizen, and the couple agreed that Jill should return home to Australia and return to America when James completed his 6-year prison term. Jill gave up her green card on the advice of immigration officials, and the couple figured she could easily get a new one later. It was later that they learned that the Adam Walsh Act prohibits James from sponsoring Jill from entering the U.S. The Secretary of Homeland Security would have to determine in the Secretary's sole and unreviewable discretion that the petitioner poses no risk to the beneficiary. In other words, James would need to submit substantial evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he poses no risk to Jill's safety and well-being, and Jill was told that such evidence is impossible to acquire. NARSOL asked Jill if she thought the Adam Walsh Act is providing a benefit to her, and she said this.
Benefit? Hell no. There is no benefit. This is a hardship. I love James. I want to be with James. James is no threat to my well-being. He is thoughtful, considerate, kind and unselfish. Had he been a risk, that would have presented itself in the first 3 years of marriage. USCIS is just assuming that all people convicted of a sexual offence are violent, and that James is violent, and he's not. That's a bad assumption.
Despite previous residence in the U.S., a marriage certificate, a durable power of attorney, true love letters, and calls to prison, all these things clearly showing a deep relationship, Customs and Immigration will not allow Jill back into the U.S. The couple is now separated by an ocean, perhaps permanently. Research supports that reuniting this loving couple is in the best interest of the USA because recidivism is reduced in such a supportive environment. So you'd think that the United States would adopt an immigration policy that supports people convicted of a sexual offense, not removing support. Jill also said this.
I'm telling this story because it not only affects me, but other families. I've met and had online conversations with many spouses in my situation, and read advertisements from many attorneys who write about it. I estimate that there are thousands of families like mine, and most, if not all, are now bankrupt due to fighting the Adam Walsh Act, trying to prove that their husband is not a threat. They are losing, even after getting successful results with counselling, polygraphs, static 99, risk assessments. These are the hurdles that they have to go through so as to be with their families. And they are fighting a losing battle. I don't want them to lose. I want them to have their family. People should write to their legislators and ask them to review the Adam Walsh Act, because it's not a benefit to the family. It's just an additional punishment.
It's sad that we have laws that can test a marriage beyond what any of us can imagine. NARSOL seeks out and supports programs which effectively reintegrate and rehabilitate former offenders and promotes healthy, trusting human interaction by replacing fear and panic with solid facts and reason. To get involved, visit narsol.org and join, donate, or volunteer. Visit lives.narsol.org to learn more about this video project and how to participate. We make every effort to assure our stories and law references are accurate. However, they should not be considered as legal advice. Laws constantly change. Please consult an attorney to confirm how they apply in your situation. And click the like and subscribe buttons to hear more stories about the Registry.